class. Get out of my class. Get out of my class. Get out of my class then. Yeah, I'd like to forget you. Get out of my class. You're just sitting here and do nothing. Day after day after day. Get out. Leave. Get out. Leave. Don't care. Who else needs you freaking leave? You're getting zeros for doing nothing! I give you the work! You're idiots! But you want to be a little punk ass nigger who's gonna get shot! Stop saying that! You're stupid! Something! Be a man!
In previous videos of mine, I've expressed that for Black Americans, a lot of times, the first time we experience racism is within the school system. It could be on the sandbox. You know, you and a white kid are arguing over who's going to play handball first or who's going to get on the swing first. And the white kid haul off and call you a nigger because that's what they've been taught at home. It could be within the classroom where you have a teacher who is displaying racism. And I've came out here and expressed, you know, and told my story how I had a third grade teacher who display racism within the classroom, and I was the only kid who was able to break it down and understand what exactly was being done. So for us, a lot of times we experience this at a very young age when we go to school because we're around different types of people. We're around people or kids who are being indoctrinated at a very young age with certain mindsets. So this type of stuff happens a lot often and people like to talk about. Now, me personally, I feel like, you know, teachers are underappreciated here in this country. I think they're underpaid. You know, I understand that you're going to have duties as a teacher that is not necessarily what you're getting paid for. And my grandmother was a school teacher for 35 years, so I know the game. I know exactly what teachers have to deal with. There's going to be times where you're going to have students who are going to be disrupted. You're going to get frustrated. There's going to be students in there that are going to make it hard for other kids around them to get a good education. So these are things that you're going to have to deal with. There's going to be kids who are dealing with things that are going on at home that's affecting them from learning. So as a school teacher, you're going to face with adversity and you're going to have to deal with things that you probably are not getting paid for. But that being said, you have to always remain professional. You have to always stay on your toes and be alert of what actually is going on around you. Now, we have a lot of, you know, people out here that like to talk about, oh, well, yeah, the rap music, you know, these guys are talking about suggestive things and they're using the word nigger and they're talking about violence. And you got people out here that's trying to tell black folks how to raise their kids. Don't whip your kids, that's abuse. If you do that, I'm calling child protective custody on you. You got all these different things. But people never ask the question, what's going on with these teachers? You got to remember that we got a lot of teachers out here, a lot of these white teachers who have your kids in their presence at least 5 days out of the week. And we all know that these teachers come to work with certain biases, certain thoughts towards black children, which is why I always advocate that parents in general, but especially black parents, we start getting more involved in what's going on, not just within our community, but in our kids' classroom. Pop up every now and then. Find out what's going on. Watch the teacher. Okay? Ask the principal. Ask the, you know, the school district. Well, what's the background of this person right here? Because hell, if we gonna try to get a car or we gonna apply for a house or something like that, or we try to sign up for the military, they're gonna go do an extensive background check on us. So why shouldn't we when it comes to our children? Now, this white woman had the gall to come out and it just basically insult these black students. And when you look at the classroom was predominantly black children. And not only did she call them a nigger, but she called them idiots. She said they were stupid, and she said they're going to be broke and they're going to get shot. Now, getting shot, where do you think that comes from? That comes from the racist mindset she has with a lot of these police brutality incidents that have been happening lately. See, she's one of those white people that, probably get around her family, and her little friends and say, well, you know what, I teach these little nigger kids, every day, and they just don't want to learn. They're disrupted. They don't care about education. All they care about is just hip hop music. These are the type of people who have our children in their presence. And I'm surprised, this story hasn't been national news, because I guarantee you, if I was a school teacher and I was teaching a middle school class that was predominantly white students, and I say, you know what, you guys are idiots, you guys are stupid, a Columbine student's going to come in here and shoot everybody up in here. This would have been national news. And I was reading some of the comments, where I found this video at, and I will leave a link in the description box. You guys will read the article. And you had a lot of black folks who were defending this white woman. But I want you guys that, y'all black folks, or white folks too, anybody of any other ethnicity or nationality. Let's say the roles were reversed. Let's say a black man said something derogatory like to a whole bunch of white students that a Columbine kid or a white kid was going to come in there and do a mass shooting and kill everybody in the classroom simply because he was frustrated. Simply because the kids were being disrupted, or he was having a hard time controlling his classroom. This is why they have, campus security, and they have principals and people who are there to intervene when you as a teacher cannot get control of the classroom. And these white teachers out here don't fool. I don't know how it is, in other states, but out here in California, a lot of teachers want to teach out here simply because when you pass the state test to be a teacher in California, it allows you to teach anywhere in the country. You can take a test, for an example, in Texas or Oklahoma or wherever, but it doesn't necessarily qualify you to go teach in another state, especially a big state like a California. You have to retake that test over. So you have a lot of teachers who are trying to come to California, take that test so that they're certified all across the country, and then they know that, okay, well, if I go teach in Compton, or I go teach at Watts High, or Dominguez, or Lock High, or whatever, these quote unquote black schools that are quote unquote in the hood, they know they're gonna get paid more money. I'll tell you guys a story. When I went to high school, when I went my little brief time when I went to high school in California, there was a teacher of mine, and she stayed in the city of Long Beach. And I can recall one of the students asking her, well, why do you, first of all, the student shouldn't have been asking because it was none of their business, but the student asked, why do you drive from Long Beach to the location I went to high school at when you could simply, just go teach at maybe like a Compton or, Poly High School or something like that. And the teacher's response was, I don't want to work in Compton. I don't want to get shot. So, this is her mindset about teaching. And of course, it was a white woman. But this was her mindset. Her mindset was, oh, well, if I go over there and I teach a whole bunch of nigger kids, I'm going to get shot. But what they'll do is that these teachers from UCLA or USC or wherever, or these Ivy League schools, they'll come to the quote-unquote hood to teach those black kids because they want that dollar bill. They don't care about these students learning. They don't care about teaching them their history other than Dr. King or Rosa Parks or the Civil Rights Movement. They don't care about the well-being of these students or getting these students to college. All they give a damn about is showing up to work every day, following some, program that or the curriculum that the district has given them, and collecting a paycheck and going home. And that's why it's important that us as black parents start getting more involved in our children's lives when it comes to them in their schooling. And I don't mean, them coming home and helping them with home. I'm talking about you find out who are the people who are teaching your children. Like I said, pop up. Go to those PTA meetings. Find out what's going on. Have a conversation with the teacher, because there's ways, you guys that are, good with the conversation skill, there's ways you can figure out a person and figure out what their agenda is towards kids of color just through conversation, asking the right questions. And I think it's time that, at the moment we're at here in this country, you got Donald Trump in the office, you got a lot of things going on, they're taking resources out of our communities. We have to stand up and we have to get more involved in the teachers and find out what's going on and who are these people who are teaching our children every single day.